back to another episode of Talking Dawn. I'm your host, Brad Hardwick. Our special guests today are...
Blackie Blackerson is also in the house.
we got ourselves Don Johnson, Robert Patrick, and for some reason, Norman Reedus.
It's gonna be a hell of a night, so let's put on a little Steely Dan and talk about From Dusk Till Dawn, babies. This is one of those cases of where when you choose to isolate yourself from any news about a project... Yeah, shoot yourself in the foot, because based on what I was seeing, I had no belief that it was going to go into the Keitel and Juliette Lewis and Asian kid characters. Sorry, I don't remember that actor's name.
All I remember is he wore the Assault on Precinct 13 shirt.
Damn straight he did.
And in this, he's dressed as and acts like a total douchebag. So if not Assault on Precinct 13, I guess he should have been wearing a shirt that said The Purge.
Or he could have just had a picture of Ethan Hawke and Lawrence Fishburne on his chest.
I really hate this damn kid. I hate him. I hate the daughter. But that's a pretty funny joke with the Ethan Hawke Lawrence Fishburne shirt. The back of it's Gabriel Byrne. They come into that pretty quick with Robert Patrick playing Jacob Fuller.
Yeah, like slam in. Like I was like, wow, it's like the show said, oh, you think you know what the fuck we about to do? Well, let's just fuck with you personally from the beginning of the show.
They messed up a golden opportunity to have Robert Patrick return as his character from Dusk Till Dawn.
That's what I was wondering too. I figured that was going to be a wink at some point.
Yeah, not really. He does perfectly fine as Jacob Fuller. Like, he does seem like he's kind of doing a Harvey Keitel a little bit.
Nah, I can't say the same thing for his kids, but we'll get to that in a sec.
Oh my God. Watching this episode, I had some problems with this episode.
I did too, but I also had some things I really liked.
I did too. It was a really mixed bag for me. Every time I was sitting there like, wow, that's actually kind of cool, something would happen and be like, oh, what the fuck is that?
Yeah, so I figured it was going to be a bumpy ride. Now, were you as surprised as me when it also said this episode was directed by Robert Rodriguez?
Kinda, yeah.
I didn't expect him to be, but then I started thinking about Robert Rodriguez. I won't be the least bit surprised if more than 50% of the show is directed by him.
Me too, because when I was thinking about it, I was like, Robert Rodriguez is the kind of fast-paced director that could work well in television. Because he is, I mean, hell, the opening credits for Once Upon a Time in Mexico said cropped and chopped by Robert Rodriguez. Like, this guy, TV directors are known for working fast because they have to. And
right, that's where Spielberg got his wings.
Yeah, and I think it was The Mist where Frank Darabont needed to shoot that movie fairly quick, so he hired himself a crew that was their primary experience was in working television, so they had enough experience to really move quickly.
Right, the run and gun approach.
Yeah, run and gun, totally. So, because of that, well, yeah, all right, I can picture Robert Rodriguez doing just fine in television.
And I was going to ask you, was that opening sequence similar to what you were saying, those little lost moments that were lost from the original script? Because that felt like what you were talking about last week.
I really liked that scene.
I did too. It was like a quiet breather.
Yeah.
That then leads into, oh, fuck. And then also the other thing that I immediately picked up on, which I thought was hilarious, because everybody thought because Tarantino was involved with the movie that the movie would do this, and it didn't, which is the playing with time.
Oh, yeah.
I'm getting the feeling the show is going to constantly be bouncing back and forth.
Yeah, I do, too. I kind of figured that from the pilot, that's what they were going to end up doing, especially how Don Johnson is killed in the pilot, and it says...
And we're still seeing his credit.
Yeah, we're still seeing his credit, which I guess, not to go back to this show, but I guess after Walking Dead doesn't necessarily mean anything, because, hell, that show kept saying "and David Morrissey" for several episodes after he died.
Well, that might have just been a case of quality control in that case, but one thing we've noticed about Mr. Rodriguez... Let's be honest. He's turned his anal compulsion into something good.
yeah, like
Because his name pops up 18 times in the credits or something.
Oh yeah.
I think he did the sound mixing, and I can get that because I want to be that kind of creator too.
Uh-huh.
But I also realize sometimes there's people that are better at this than me, so sometimes I step back.
Me too. Like when we decided to do the Snob movie, I was like, I want this to be a DVD released feature, and I'm a run and gun point and shoot director, you know.
Right.
I'm suitable for like internet movies about hookers with golden hearts. So I asked Ryan if he wanted to direct that because I know what my weak points are. But in terms of the opening scene, there's some stuff that reminded me of some things. A lot of whenever they do like their secret handshake,
Yeah.
and they're like really like bro-y moments like that.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm getting the kinship, and it's helping me accept why Seth's having a hard time just clocking him upside the head and saying straighten out. Although obviously that does in fact happen in this episode.
Oh yeah, and I liked in that opening scene where they're talking about how at one point, I guess Richard Gecko was fairly competent in terms of being a criminal bank robber.
Right, a functional human who happens to be a criminal.
That totally makes me buy why Seth would still, taking away the fact that they're brothers. I mean that helps me believe why Seth Gecko would still continue on with this guy in a bank robbery in a professional criminal setting like this, because apparently at one point he was competent enough to do things like this and only suddenly is starting to act crazy, which I've got some real concerns as far as that goes.
Yeah, I was gonna say, because it's starting to sound like it's not his crazy.
And I don't think I like that. I have a prediction of what might come up, and I hope it's not true. Like, I was always perfectly fine with the fact that Richard Gecko is just a fucking crazy person.
Yeah.
A crazy person who helped his brother get out of jail, and now his brother is stuck with him.
Yeah, stuck with him. That's the way I was gonna.
I was always perfectly content with that. But in this, they're tying Richard Gecko in with the vampire mythology.
Right.
It's looking like Richard Gecko is some kind of cult serial killer, and honestly, my prediction is that it's going to turn out that he's a vampire.
I'm starting to think that too. I gotta be honest. It's feeling either that or he's gonna be what in vampire lore they call a thrall.
Uh-huh.
Where it's like a vampire always has to have, like, you know, Dracula had Renfield.
Yeah.
That convert that does their bidding. I'm
Yeah.
starting to wonder if to Pandemonic is Hayek. I'm not gonna keep trying to mispronounce that every time I do it.
Satanico Pandemonium.
But I'm starting to feel like that's what his place is going to be. Now, I will say, and this is jumping ahead a bit, and also, if you guys haven't watched the episodes before you hear us talk about them, we'll just get it out the way now. Spoiler all over the fucking place. We're going to talk about the whole episode.
Yeah.
That one brief moment where he looked over his shoulder and said, "Do you want me to kill him?" I will admit, that part kind of threw me.
Yeah, same here.
Because I was like, the way he delivered the line, and I have to say, I'm much more digging his performance of Richie now. I thought he was perfect. That last shot as it slowly just kind of creeped in on his face,
Uh-huh.
I thought worked really good. And that other shot where they get the infamous, if anybody who's ever done video making knows this shot if somebody's wearing glasses, where you have the light coming up, so the glasses kind of convey heightened eyebrows, kind of like lines of the glasses on there, and your eyes kind of become hard to see. It's like they're trying to say, we want you to feel the darkness coming off of him. And like you said, I'm hoping some of that darkness we're going to be allowed to believe was always there, and that it's not all coming from this supernatural influence.
Yeah, same here, because I do like him. I like him a lot. And when they were walking, because of his glasses, because of his physical appearance, and so maybe some of his line delivery, when they're walking towards the bank dressed like the Reservoir Dogs, I was kind of like, well, this looks like Dwight Schrute from The Office decided to rob a bank. I liked seeing things like the bank robbery. I liked seeing them before the bank robbery, just having lunch together, and when I liked them bringing up Seth Gecko's wife, because I remember even all the times I've seen the movie, whenever he has that passing line that's the no thanks, I already had a wife.
Right.
I was always glad that they didn't really elaborate on that, because it would have just seemed like unnecessary exposition, but at the same time it made, it was still perfectly reasonable that he would say that. That he would say that in From Dusk Till Dawn, but I was always kind of like, what the fuck was that relationship like?
Exactly.
What is, like, being married to Seth Gecko, and I guess he had a wife, so either she's divorced or dead.
Right.
So what, going through a divorce with Seth Gecko, what the fuck was that like? So I kind of like, even though in this it was still just a passing line of dialogue, but I liked that. I liked hearing more about that. I honestly hope we do hear more about that. And in terms of DJ Catrona, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, in terms of his performance as Seth Gecko, like, he certainly has warmed up to me in this.
Yeah, me too.
I thought he is likable. He is totally likable. He does have a different vibe than Clooney does, definitely, because even in the second episode, it does feel like, this popular frat boy probably just became a bank robber because of his brother. He definitely has, like, kind of a bro-y vibe to him. But he is likable. He does have charisma. When they're
slips in little things into in their interactions with hostages and things that remind you that there is a human under there.
And that's what he's good at. When he's calming down those hostages, you believe that he is not at all intending to hurt them.
Right. When he gives that little quick soliloquy that they fade out on when he's cracking the vault, to me that felt like a guy who was like, he kind of forgot he's in the middle of a hostage situation, and he's just trying to tell a fun story to somebody he just met.
Yeah, to calm them down, and I liked that. He pulled that off well, and I think I know why he was really kind of throwing me off a little bit in the first one, and that might be the lack of this Seth Gecko's neck tattoo.
You know what? I hate to say it, but yeah, because when you first saw Clooney and that tattoo, you felt like, I don't need to know anything else. I see this guy looking like that, carrying himself that way, with that appearance. Half of my backstory's already been provided in the back of my head.
Yeah, you see that image, and you're like, I am not fucking with this guy.
Right, the same way, like, for me, the same way, like, Brad Pitt's tattoos in the Ocean's movies.
Yeah.
It tells the backstory, you just don't need to hear it.
Yeah, exactly. And I loved how, I think it was, it's on the back of the box, I think, of one of either the VHS or one of the DVDs, where it's Clooney sitting there with his jacket off, and you could tell it was just like maybe a publicity photo, because in the movie the tattoo goes all the way down his arm, but in this publicity shot, like, it's just on his neck. It's kind of like the back of the box for Pulp Fiction, where Samuel L. doesn't have the...
Oh, right. Yeah, and all the promotional materials. Back when I was working at Blockbuster, we had the stand-up for that. And everybody kept saying, where's his wig?
Where's his Jerry curl? What the fuck?
I think they actually, Tarantino made a joke about that in the interview, saying, yeah, we forgot to bring the wig to the promotional shoot, and we just said, fuck it.
I love it.
Everybody thought it was intentional to not scare off audiences. He was like, no, I wanted the wig. We just forgot to bring it to the damn shoot.
That is fantastic.
'Cause let's be honest, as low-budget filmmakers, haven't we been there before? We go, okay, now where's the blood? Okay, who brought the blood? Oh, come on, guys. Who brought the blood?
Someone's got the fucking blood. I remember...
Oh, fuck me. We're going to go get some Kool-Aid Burst. Let's shoot this damn movie.
When we were shooting Paranoia, there was a part towards the end of the movie where I'm going through the house and I have a gun. We were shooting this scene, and the whole time I was sitting there like, this feels wrong. This doesn't feel like it's the gun I'm supposed to have in the scene, because there's a part of the movie where I switch guns with somebody. And we shot like a few scenes, and then eventually, and I was like, I don't think this is the right gun. And Ryan's like, no, it's the right gun. And in my head, and I'm like, I don't think it. I know it's been a long time since I wrote this script, but I don't think this is right. So I went and looked through the script, and I was like, yeah, this is the wrong gun. And Ryan's like, well, okay, so that's just your gun now. And I'm like, no, that's a huge plot.
He's like, no, this is important.
It's like, we have to fix this because I will get blamed for this.
Oh, yeah. Anyone who nitpicks other people's continuity issues, oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot afford to fuck up on continuity unless you're doing it on purpose.
Yeah, so we had to reshoot that whole sequence, which, given that we already just shot it, it didn't take nearly as long. But so yeah, stuff like that happens. Like no matter how big of a budget that you have, and when I was watching this, I was like, I know what this series is now. If From Dusk Till Dawn is Highlander, this is Highlander the Raven. This is what you would have seen if From Dusk Till Dawn was a mid-90s show on the USA Network.
It is starting to feel like that. Or I would even say so much as like maybe on Sci-Fi back when they were still willing to show stuff like Farscape.
Oh yeah, Sci-Fi Channel, exactly. This is the kind of show I would see on there. And like those shows, it's not that they're necessarily like very good, but like Highlander the Raven, you sit there and you watch it and you're like, this is certainly not Highlander, but I can't exactly take my eyes off of it.
Yeah, kind of like the first time I stumbled across stuff like Lex.
Oh God.
And I went, okay, this isn't good. And oh boy, I know at least one pasty-faced mistress who's gonna really not like that, but I can't stop watching it. And eventually I fell to its charms.
Yeah, it's like the first time I came across Mutant X at whatever was on right after Nightman. Like, this is like a syndicated show of the mid to late 1990s. And every time something happens in it, like the picnic scene, the bank scene, stuff in it
These great moments, and then
something stupid. I am getting we're only 2 episodes in, and I am getting so sick of all of the goddamn bar foreshadowing.
Yeah, we're hinting. We better be there by episode 4, or at least pulling up to it by the end of episode 3, in my opinion.
I hope so, because god damn it, I'm sick of the in the dialogue, like, I must track them down and find these monsters.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm warming up to the deputy character, but they're not giving him much to work with. They're rolling out every possible must avenge my partner trope humanly possible.
We're taking you off this case.
Yeah, because we knew we were gonna get that.
Uh-huh.
And then he dresses in all black with the leather vest.
And he has a newborn baby.
Right, and they have that moment where he looks at that incredibly large newborn baby.
Yeah.
That was a big-ass baby.
There was one funny scene, though, with him that I liked, where he has his bag of guns, he's got his shotgun, he's dressed in all black, baby is sitting there on the ground, wife is cooking food, and he just nonchalantly goes to leave, and his wife says something really casual, like, so I'm making pot roast, and he's like,
yeah.
Oh, sorry.
He's like, I'll be back. He was something like, keep it warm, or...
Keep it warm for me.
I'll be back. Oh, I'll be back in time for dinner, I think is what he said.
Yeah, that, I kind of liked, that was at least kind of playing with that trope a little bit.
It was, and it felt like maybe this was a conversation similar to one they've had before where work came first.
The only reason that the deputy has kind of warmed up to me in this, even though not really, because I don't find him intimidating or charismatic.
Oh yeah, unfortunately he's in one of those cases where your villains are just much more charismatic than your hero.
Yeah, like I could give a shit in this whenever it cuts back to the deputy. Like it was a mistake to write out Earl McGraw. Like I would have been totally fine if Earl McGraw just survived the gas station scene or the convenience store scene. I would have been totally cool with that. Like, and the only reason that the deputy didn't annoy me as much at this time is only because he wasn't opposite Don Johnson, who
Yeah.
who outshines him in every way, shape, or form.
For
So
all the faults of Philip Michael Thomas's acting, let's be honest, he held his own with Don Johnson.
oh yeah, absolutely. Like that was a role that I've seen Philip Michael Thomas in some other stuff where it was kind of like,
Sparkle. Sorry, I had to say that for the 2 black people that are listening.
yeah, exactly. And,
or for just Josh.
he was good at
Coonskin.
Coonskin,
I thought he was awesome in Coonskin.
Black Fist, right?
He's in Black. He plays 2 people in Black Fist.
Mm-hmm. Philip Michael Thomas, yeah, was at least good at picking roles that he's well suited.
Yeah, it's like he almost knows, okay, I got this certain range here.
Yeah. And as Rico Tubbs, he was perfect. He held his own against Don Johnson. This was like, I don't even know what to compare this to. This would be like if Don Johnson was partnered up with like fucking like Miles Teller. I don't know, like
I got one for you. If he was teamed up with Byron Allen.
Yeah, with Byron Allen. Yeah, and then Sonny Crockett gets killed in the pilot, and we're stuck.
Yeah, and the rest of the show is Miami Vice, starring Byron Allen.
Boo!
Yeah, I'm hoping that our expectations are going to be subverted with him. Because they're playing him so straight, and Rodriguez is known for tweaking shit. Like, maybe he's gonna be the one that goes, like, loco once they finally hit the bar. Maybe he's gonna be the crazy sex machine type person that just, like, at this point, he can't believe... Because let's be honest, it's probably drifting towards... We're gonna see at least one scene where it's gonna be the deputy and Seth back-to-back shooting a bunch of vampires.
That's what they're going to lead to. They're going to end up in the bar. They're going to have to end up working together. It's Precinct 13.
Yeah.
It's convict and cop working together because they happen to be in this really...
And knowing how much Rodriguez loves Carpenter, I wonder if we'll hear at one point one of them say, "Gotta smoke."
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Or that line from... that they used in the original from Dusk Till Dawn that was originally from That Darn Cat, where it was the line Clooney had, where he said, "I've got 6 little friends and they can all run faster than you can." Me and Brian were talking recently, and Brian said, George Clooney is so awesome in that movie. He took a line from That Darn Cat and made it incredibly intimidating. And my response was, to be fair, in That Darn Cat, when Neville Brand says that line...
It's funny, too. It's pretty intimidating.
Yeah, I still shit my pants.
The only way it would have even affected me more is if they had somehow got the Cat from Outer Space reference in there.
A talking cat?
A talking cat?
What? Hold the phone!
Oh, and at least we can honestly say that with the... you gave me the perfect segue.
Yeah.
A Talking Cat, for those who don't know, is a Dave Dakota movie that for some reason doesn't have a bunch of shirtless, buff men.
Boo.
In it. Yeah, I know. I expect this from my Dakota. But in this movie, you have the laziest CGI overlay on a cat of a very lazy cat played by an even more lazy Eric Roberts. And you don't buy his character for a second. You feel someone who's either getting a paycheck or just really wants to be an actor and doesn't know how. Which leads us to Jacob's Children.
Uh-huh.
I'm a little concerned about them.
Oh my God, his fucking kid. I was watching it and then the subplot with the boyfriend. I'm like, no, don't fucking do this, Jesus Christ. I stopped.
You hire Juliette Lewis because you know even if she's playing a straight-laced character, you're going to get some quirk in there.
Yeah.
And she played that character quirky. The way she adapted to the situation made sense based on how she had been playing that character. She could roll with it.
She played that character real. She played she played that character as, an innocent girl, but also, fairly sweet and kind-hearted and likable. This girl is a fucking brat.
Yes, she is.
Oh my fucking God.
You're taking me away? It's my senior year. When she said that line, I was like, how many fucking TV shows and generic movies have I seen where I've heard that line before?
Oh my god, like, I stopped watching Homeland for a reason, because they started dedicating half of that goddamn show to the annoying-ass daughter and her stupid boyfriend. And then in this, it's an annoying-ass daughter with a Charlie Church-going boyfriend. There's a lot to get into with this subplot.
Yeah, although I will say it does lead into what is surprising the hell out of me for me, which is the boyfriend allowed Wilmer to finally interact with somebody on screen. And Wilmer is kind of impressing me on this show.
Dude, honestly, he's really good in this.
He's creepy as fuck.
Yeah, there were moments when I was kind of like, why isn't he playing Seth Gecko?
Yeah, I mean the way he's delivering his lines with this kind of aloof charm, but it's almost like he's so comfortable in his own skin that he just knows it's gonna just exude outwards. I personally, of course, totally understand that.
Well, and I'm so glad that it's somebody playing that part who's doing a really good job at it, because a lot of those scenes, like...
they could have been terrible.
Made no goddamn sense. Like, when he's...
Well, there's already inconsistency with sunlight and all that shit.
Sunlight, and I guess crucifixes don't bother him now, because there was...
Yeah, I caught that too. Well, we're going Mayan, is what it looks like to me, or Quetzalcoatl, or, Mexican shit.
And that's another thing about, like, all the goddamn foreshadowing. They took Tarantino looking through the hole in his hand and made it foreshadowing in this movie.
Yeah, I caught that too.
Like, foreshadowing, the hole in his hand, and then later on in From Dusk Till Dawn, he gets stabbed in the same hand. Okay, yeah, there's that. But no, in this, like, the eyeball is straight out imagery that they're using to foreshadow, I guess, the bar. Like, at the end, Richard Gecko is walking around with a dead dog and makes an eyeball in the sand with its blood. Like, my God, I don't need this. I don't need this at all. Like, okay, I get you have to expand on this universe to make it a 10-part series. I do. I totally understand that, which is why, yes, in the movie, I like the fact that they don't show the bank robbery. In the show, I get it why they have to show the bank robbery.
There's some things, however, they don't have to show us.
Yeah, I don't need all of this damn foreshadowing of the bar. Like, the movie is great in so many ways, but one of them is that hard right turn when you get to the bar. Like, it's two separate movies that just happen to share the same universe with each other, and they both happen to end up in the same place.
Now, I will say this. I felt like Rodriguez intentionally used that scene with the boyfriend for the right turn on this one. Because when Wilmer finally vamps out, just like Grace Jones for that one commenter who couldn't believe we talked about vampires and didn't bring up that movie, because it's not like we have 8 more episodes to talk about. Not like both of us obviously know and probably really like that movie.
I fucking love Vamp.
Me too. I actually had that. I've spent 10 years tracking down that soundtrack, and I finally have a copy of it.
Oh, beautiful. Yeah, I love Vamp so goddamn much. Like, Vamp is great in so many ways, but so worth the ticket price alone just for Robert Russler. And
yeah, I love that guy. Between that and what, Nightmare on Elm Street?
Elm Street 2, when he was Grady.
Yeah.
When he was Grady.
He those kind of characters, he perfectly inhabits.
Oh my God, as Max in Weird Science, and the first movie I ever saw him in, I think, the first movie I saw him in was Weird Science, but after that, when he was that psycho-ass greaser in Sometimes They Come Back.
Ah, yes, exactly.
Oh my God, he is scary as shit.
Isn't he? He's almost got like a little Hess in him. Where it's like, yeah, I'd cast him, but I'm not going to his hotel room by myself.
Oh my god, that guy is fucking cool, man. He's been at some of the cons we've been at, and Jillian got to interview him once. Like he is he's a cool cat. Like that guy, he's funny as shit.
So now they'll make a comment about, oh, but they didn't make any references about Abel Ferrara's Lily Taylor vampire movie, so we'll deal with that.
You guys make no reference to female vampire.
Despite the fact that 90% of our references only y'all are getting.
Uh-huh. Why did you not make any reference to any of the Lena Romay vampire movies?
Why did you not also reference the fact that all their movies where actresses didn't realize that their vagina would be visible on screen because of the camera angle, and they were assured it would not be in the final cut?
Sorry.
Hey, I'll be honest. Directors are asshole manipulators. That's what they do. It comes with the job, folks. Just letting you know.
That's what we do.
It's what we do. It's the bottom line is what gets up on screen. We'll apologize later. But I will say this. There was one distinct moment that I haven't made up my mind if I really liked or really don't like yet. The quick flash cut of the bank teller in the trunk. Because I love that part in the movie. But with the fast pace and the harsh turn of the movie and the way it was paced, to me it made more sense there.
Oh, in the movie?
But the way they did it in the show, it felt like we got to put this in there because it was in the movie.
Yeah, I was thinking about that when I was watching it, because it totally gave the vibe of exactly what you just said. Like, this shot is in here because this same exact shot was in the movie.
And then 5 minutes later, you get the exact same shot from In the Trunk, which, of course, was the Tarantino shot because it's also the same shot from Pulp Fiction.
Yeah, Pulp Fiction, Reservoir Dogs.
We should have shotguns for this kind of deal. One of the worst pieces of ADR ever, by the way. You ever go back and rewatch Pulp Fiction, you're going to hate me because you're going to realize that's some horrible ADR in that.
I noticed that when I saw the re-release in the theater. A lot of the AD. I notice that a lot anymore when going to see re-releases of movies.
Yeah, that really bugs me because in the digital age, you can actually create filters to make it sound exactly like where you shot it. So actually, you're just being lazy.
Uh-huh. So like but at the same time, I'm still very forgiving about it when I see it.
Like I said, I'm confused about it because the more I thought about it, and then when it did follow up with that shot from the trunk, I was like, okay, I see what he might be doing here.
Yeah.
For the people who might be feeling we're drifting too far from the movie, he's going to keep tossing back moments from the movie to remind you, in a way, this is going to all tie together. We just got to hope it does.
And the reason why, even though I had the thought of like, okay, well, that's in there because it happened in the movie, even with that being said, it didn't bother me because it didn't feel out of place. Like it
now, stylistically, it definitely didn't feel out of place with the way he's been shooting the show. So.
Yeah, like it didn't feel like it was just out of nowhere and it came like completely out of left field and suddenly there's this shot in the movie. I mean, there was a rhythm to how that sequence was shot on the show, and then it does that, and so it didn't feel out of. If I hadn't seen the movie and I was watching this show and that happened, I wouldn't think anything of it.
Right, you would just been like, I get it.
Yeah, it wasn't like in other remakes where something will happen because it happened in the previous film, but it makes no sense.
Even if it doesn't make sense in the new version.
For instance,
like, I don't know, 3 tits.
That is exactly what I was gonna say. Like, there are no mutants in this. Why the fuck is that woman there?
That was because it's Total Recall.
Yeah.
You have to have 3 tits. Just like in a Star Trek movie, you have to have Tribbles, Fascinating Captain, I'm giving it all she's got, and blah, blah, blah.
And so in this, Wilmer Valderrama, Carlos is...
He's awesome.
He's great. With there being no Don.
I love that. Cherry lime. I thought the way he set that up, the way it was just creepy enough to make the other guy kind of uncomfortable, Because let's be honest, yeah, Bible thumper or not, you just don't pick up motherfuckers that close to Mexico.
Especially ones that
Especially ones that are dressed like like he's cosplaying as like some sort of like a Red Dead Redemption character.
Yeah, someone who looks like a bad guy from Renegade. What the hell? Yeah, I'm gonna pick up this guy whose palms are smoking. And so yeah, he turns out to be a vampire in this, and I guess vampires in this can also shapeshift.
Yeah.
Although,
Yeah, so
which to be fair, even the movie had weird.
yeah, the movie implies that because obviously their natural form is not sexy ass Salma Hayek.
Yeah, exactly.
Didn't affect my fapping, but it was nice to know.
And even the movie had weird continuity with vampires because there's like the one that just suddenly turns into a rat.
Mm-hmm.
But the movie.
But in the context of the movie, it works because at that point, the name of the documentary of the movie makes sense. Full Tilt Boogie when you get to that point.
Yeah, exactly. Like, even when that happened in the movie, I didn't question it. I'm
right,
like,
you're just going with it at that point.
Totally going with it. All right.
Or the same way that Tarantino's vampire looks nothing like any of the other vampires in the movie.
Exactly. Like, I'm perfectly cool with going along with this.
Oh,
This is a total B movie. I'm down with it as long as it keeps entertaining me.
Damn straight. But speaking of that.
Mm-hmm.
We know that happens in the movie, but now that we've gotten attached to Richie, that might hurt in this one. I mean, as a viewer, we're gonna miss Richie.
My prediction for it, honestly, I don't think they're gonna kill him off as quickly as they did in the movie.
Yeah, I'm really hoping that's gonna be the case because I want him around.
So do I. At least in terms of Zane Holt's performance, like he's easily one of the strongest points of the show.
Easy, especially like I said, I was warming up to him in episode 1, but he's got me now.
And in the movie, it made sense that Richie gets killed off that early. It does. It may, especially for Seth Gecko to also grow as a character like that. That made sense. And yeah, Richard Gecko.
It was like, if we want to get all Campbellian with it and shit. That was him allowing himself to release himself from his criminal past. And now become a hero.
Yeah. And Richard Gecko had it coming.
Yeah, let's be honest. Now, here's another thing, speaking from that. I'm hoping we're not taking the same track with the bank teller, because they let us get to know her, and that changes how that scene can now play if they go that way.
If they still do that, though, I'm honestly fine, because that'll still make it incredibly fucking shocking.
It will be incredibly shocking, but it will also, once again, push, assuming that we don't blame all this on the villain making Richie do these things.
Yeah.
It'll make Richie even more irredeemable.
It will. It's certainly still going that way. If he does do that, if he does rape and kill this girl, even though they're giving him so much goddamn links to the bar, they're still writing him in a way where that wouldn't be out of character.
It would not be out of character. I did love the one part where he kind of blurted out, "What's happening to me?"
Exactly, yeah, because they have him as this, which, in the movie, yeah, he was a schizo.
Because for the most part, he was just going with the shit. That was the one moment of clarity where he kind of went, I'm not quite sure why I'm doing what the fuck I'm doing. And I think that was that moment where his brother realized, okay, he realizes it too. He's still my brother.
Yeah, which is why I don't think that they're going to kill him off so early, because they are going out of their way to link him in with the bar mythology that obviously it looks like they're going to keep him around for a while, and if they kill him off that early, the whole thing would feel really pointless.
Gotcha. Now, enough of the praise. Back to them fucked up kids.
God damn those fucking kids!
I'm sorry. You don't introduce your first character being impressed with how much his shit smells.
Yeah, what the fuck was that?
That was total. Well, you know what? I hate to say it, that is Rodriguez.
Yeah.
He's always loved to put a little toilet humor in all his movies as far back as El Mariachi.
He does, and and I like Rodriguez.
I mean, for the most part, I like him too. I don't feel the need for you to make me have to watch a movie just because your son had an idea. But
Oh,
you know, for the most part, I like Rodriguez.
I do. Like, before he started doing the kids shit, I was a huge Rodriguez
And
fan.
I got to be honest, what he did with Sin City,
Hmm.
I still consider damn near a work of art.
I love Sin City. It's probably the last movie of his I actually legitimately loved.
I mean, when you see that, I mean, you look at it and you say, this is a guy who dedicated himself to his vision. You're going to just have to accept this vision or not watch this movie.
Yeah.
You don't get that too much in mainstream movies anymore.
No, not at all. Not at all. And I
Almost Cronenbergian, as weird as that sounds. It's like basically saying, this is this universe. Deal with it or don't watch this movie.
and I miss that Rodriguez, because Rodriguez made some of my favorite action movies of the 1990s, and now he's just kind of hit or miss for me. He'll put out something I really like, and then he'll put out something that's just...
Yeah, he'll make something you really like Machete, and then he'll make something you really don't like Machete Kills.
Yeah, or his kids movies that he keeps trying to do. Like, Jesus Christ, you are not put on this earth to make kids movies. Stop it.
And I agree, but of course Spy Kids blew up, and full disclosure, I love the first Spy Kids.
The first Spy Kids, like, if you're gonna watch any Robert Rodriguez kids movie, it might as well be that one.
Well, I had the advantage of watching a work print.
Oh,
so
okay.
some of the effects weren't there, so maybe there was a charm there that some people didn't see, because I got to see, like, grids and green screen shots.
That's kind of awesome.
I love anytime. I'm not promoting pirating, folks, but things exist out there. Sometimes if you care about how filmmaking works, sometimes you want to see how movies are made. You might sometimes want to see little things like how movies work, even when they're not done, as opposed to, like, say, the Wolverine movie, where actually the unfinished version is more entertaining than the final version they came up with.
Yeah.
But there are also cases of, like, you see how filmmaking works. Like, I know everybody forwarded that one thing with the end of E.T. without the music. That just teaches you how filmmaking works, because you realize all the emotion from that scene is coming from John Williams.
Yeah.
So I just say that kind of stuff. But that's the kind of director Rodriguez used to be.
Oh, yeah.
The kind of guy where the kinetic energy, even if the movie's not finished, you're still enjoying yourself.
Yeah, that's honestly totally true. Like, on the DVD for From Dusk Till Dawn, it's got an outtakes reel, and in the outtakes reel, the special effects hadn't been quite finished yet, so it looks like it's on the level of, like, Gatoroid or
or Roller Gator.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it looks like that, but it still kind of has a charm to it.
Right, you still see that the intent was there even before the effect goes. The whole thing wasn't all about effects. Although I will say, creators do fall in love with the shit they can do. Mm-hmm. And I do think that has affected Rodriguez the same way it's affected Stallone with his Expendable movies. Mm-hmm. Which is the concept of, okay, so I just have to have people fall down and we'll add all the violence and gore later? Cool, I can keep shooting.
Oh, God, yeah. And
as opposed to waiting 15 to 20 minutes for each actor to have the squibs put on them. And, oh, heaven forbid if the squibs fuck up or if a radio signal makes them go too early and we have to do it again. Oh, God, I want to get back to shooting HGH into my eyeball.
Oh, my God, that drives me so... you know what? In television, I understand.
But a mainstream film with millions of dollars?
Yeah. Like,
you can get some... Man. You can hire Dick Smith's son. Shit.
If you're not bothered by that, that's one thing. Like, okay, if that doesn't bother you, fine. But it does not look better. It looks like a cartoon. It looks fake. You're replacing...
It mitigates the power of the violence, if that's what your intent is.
Yeah, you're taking something that looked realistic and turning it into a half-animated feature. Like, if it's for stylistic, when it's been done for stylistic reasons, okay, yeah, like Sin City.
Or in my particular perfect case, I think it's perfect. Ed Norton shooting himself in the mouth in Fight Club.
Uh-huh.
That was actually a practical effect originally.
Yeah.
Rob Bottin designed it.
Mm-hmm.
They did it. They shot it with incredibly fast, high-speed cameras, but even Rob Bottin said, this doesn't work. Take my template, CG it up.
Uh-huh.
And when you watch that movie, that shit looks pretty damn good, and it doesn't feel CGE.
Oh, and it looks fucking painful.
Yes, it looks like it hurts, which is the intent of the scene.
Yeah, there was something that I saw recently at one of the midnights. I can't, off the top of my, I see so many of these goddamn things. Same with, like, the date.
Sounds like Dread.
Okay, yeah, Dread, like, where they...
Like, to me, I didn't mind the CG in Dread because that's literally the only way they could create some of those stylistic sequences.
Yeah, and they made it work for stylistic reasons. I said the same thing about the day for night shots in Battle Royale. Like, I'm cool with this because they made this look really beautiful and stylish. Like,
right, there's a reason for the artifice.
yeah, and when Robert Rodriguez has done that in something like Machete Kills, it doesn't feel like it's done for stylistic purposes.
It feels like it's budgetary and production purposes.
Yeah, it feels like it was done so this movie could only be shot in like 2 weeks, or however the fuck long it took them to make Machete Kills.
Which, of course, for us also is a problem of, on the one hand, we're going, damn, you made this in how quickly?
Yeah.
How much money? But then on the other hand, you go, but here's the result. Because when all that other behind-the-scenes shit is forgotten, and let's be honest, only a certain percentage of the audience ever knows that, all they know is the product.
It's like, here's what it is. Like, when you look at his movies of the 90s, and you look at his movies now that don't work, it's, honestly, it's like comparing the original Dawn of the Dead to, like, Survival of the Dead.
Exactly.
That's so what it
or
is.
Or those few shots in Land of the Dead that just didn't feel like Dawn of the Dead moments.
A few shots. I still kind
of... I love Land of the Dead. Don't think I'm dissing it. I'm just saying there's a few moments, and that might have more to do with the fact that I saw it theatrically and uncut.
Yeah.
So I saw those digital moments where they added zombies in front of violence and stuff, where you could just feel it. To me, it reminded me of the robed figures in front of the fucking in Eyes Wide Shut.
Yeah.
Yeah, where, like, that's where CG is dangerous. Because it makes it so easy to change what your original intent was if someone else has a say in the intent. And also, if budget is a factor.
Yeah, and because Dusk Till Dawn is television, I'm more willing to forgive a lot of that
Right,
stuff.
I'm willing to forgive him, too. And I'm willing to give him props for... Did you see the final credits? Greg Nicotero and Howard Berger are doing the practical effects for this series.
Are they really? Well, that's cool.
Because, did you see that dog? That dog looks awesome.
That dog looked really good.
And when the kid is laying there, that was a practical effect from what I can tell. Because I used to do makeup. So just based when he was laying there, and the way his body was kind of trembling, to do that in CG would be more time intensive than to just have makeup on the actor.
Yeah, that looked...
And the bulging of Wilmer's neck, I'm pretty sure that was not a digital effect.
Oh, really? Like, it looked...
Well, the teeth were. But when he's actually there and he's just laying up against them and it's like you see the blood going through.
Uh-huh.
I'm kind of sure. I'm feeling that was a practical effect.
I mean,
and
it looked
get
fine.
Nicotero and Berger, obviously you got to pay them to do something.
Yeah, I mean, it looked fine to me. It didn't take me out of the moment or anything like that.
Right, and even the snapping of the teeth, which obviously was CG, the way they handled it, it felt like maybe it was a quick shot between him with the teeth and without the teeth, so it was just a blend.
Yeah,
those are the kind of CG shits I like, where it's like CG is just covering up the gaps from what you do.
Oh yeah, that's when it's done well and not abused.
Ooh, I got a good one for you.
Yeah.
Do you remember a movie called Dreamscape? Dennis Quaid, David Patrick Kelly, they're fighting inside the president's head. He turns into a snake monster.
I saw that a long
I know, it's probably been a while. But Dick Smith basically sculpted 18 different heads so they could shoot each one of those heads to show the transformation.
Mm-hmm.
And from an artistic standpoint, it was awesome. From a filmmaking standpoint, it didn't work at all.
Yeah.
And to me, that's what CG does. I always think of Last Crusade, when he's holding that fine Nazi chick.
Oh yeah.
The way they basically just use CG to go from makeup head to makeup head to makeup head, then the full CGI, and it still holds up today.
Oh, nice.
And to me, that's where CG works. I understand on TV, and frankly, from just a budgetary standpoint, you got to make these compromises. But by the same token, when you only had special effects, George Romero didn't have the same budget as Philip Kaufman, yet the effects are comparable. And to me, that's how that goes. Leave a pause here. I gotta go check my door.
There was one thing about the whole thing with Carlos and the the Bible thumping kid and turning into the boyfriend and confronting Robert Patrick, beating him up, and the daughter now hates him. I was watching that whole thing like, okay, Wilmer Valderrama is really good in this part. He is. Honestly, so's Robert Patrick. But I was sitting there like, it was less of a feeling of, well, okay, this will probably be explained later. Even though, yeah, it might be. But it was less a feeling of that and more, why the fuck is this happening? Like,
yeah.
What is the point of him turning into her boyfriend
And I have a theory, and I'm a little scared of it.
What's your theory on that? Because I was seriously like, it wasn't even that I was curious to see what the resolution was. It really was more like, why is this, even if it has an explanation, why the fuck is this necessary?
I hate to say it, I'm already picking it up from the fact that they've already added mystery to Jacob's behavior.
Yeah.
That, frankly, Hayek is bringing all these people to a certain place for a specific reason. Like, Wilmer had to create a situation where the geckos are going to end up with them so that they have to end up at the titty twister.
Yeah, because
It's starting to feel like for whatever reason, all these characters are being pushed together. And I hate to use the chess reference because when I do that, I always have to go, one night in Bangkok makes a hard man humble. But,
yeah, like,
it's feeling like the characters are all being pushed to where they're going to go, and we're going to get a resolution to that. And if that resolution doesn't work, they could possibly lose me.
Yeah, because I don't like that. I don't need there to be a reason why they ended up.
There shouldn't always be a reason. Sometimes shit just needs to happen.
Yeah, I don't need there to be some supernatural force that's bringing the Fullers together with the Geckos, and then the vampires have a spell over Richard Gecko, and that brings them to the... Oh my god, I don't need that. This is what I was saying earlier. Like, even though, as a filmmaker, like, Rodriguez made some action movies that I consider to be masterpieces in the 1990s.
Oh, I agree.
Tarantino was always the better writer. And
yeah, no doubt. Even though, he had his excesses, but he's definitely the better writer.
Tarantino has always been the better writer. And
Rodriguez was the director.
Yeah.
When it came to being able to, like, convey visually, with no dialogue, what you want to say, at his peak, Rodriguez was amazing.
And in this, it feels like, okay, this is if a lesser screenwriter wrote From Dusk Till Dawn.
I came up on Star Trek.
Yeah.
Well, the new I came up on both Star Treks, but once Deep Space Nine showed up, I realized it was important to catch the writers' names.
Well, did it have him credited? Because my reason for bringing that up was, and I could totally be wrong, but I thought I remembered seeing his name credited as writer on the pilot.
He was writer on the pilot and director on the pilot. He was only director on episodes.
Okay.
Which actually is kind of funny because when you think about the moments we really like, they're from the screenplay. They're not director-based. It's like the intro. Like, I love the intro, too. And I love the way it tied back in that great moment where he sees the drink.
Oh,
and
yeah,
he comes back in, like, slurping it, like, I finally got it. And I was like, that's a nice little callback. Because the way the camera kind of went into the drink, the first thing that's popping into my head, I hate to say it, because I'm already expecting subversion, was, is the bank teller part of the plot? Is the bank teller going to turn out to be a vampire?
Oh God, I
And
hope
she
not.
drugged the drink for Richie. I hate to say it, that shit popped into my head.
Oh, that didn't pop into my head, but now it
And
is.
I'm sorry I shared that with you.
Now it is in my head.
Because they focused on it, and I'm hoping it's just for the punchline of that joke.
Yeah,
I'm really hoping that's the only reason, because honestly, that works too.
I was watching that, and when I was watching that scene, the thought that went through my head was, wow, I really feel like going to Starbucks now.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, I did make a coffee right after watching it, even though I should have been going to bed.
Yeah, I think I might have too. Like I've been drinking a lot of coffee lately though. Like
Coffee's awesome.
Oh yeah, especially since I quit drinking. I need something to replace.
Oh yeah. Hey man, and that would explain why I'm hearing the e-cig more often too. Yeah, we always gotta fill one vice with another. You're talking to the converted here.
with my future cigarette. Cigarettes of the future. It's the Dippin' Dots of cigarettes.
Now I'm trying to remember. The kid dies in the movie, right?
Yeah, the only survivors of the movie are Seth Gecko
and Juliet, right?
Juliette Lewis.
So,
Kate.
So I'll be honest. If they're playing him as a douche, that might work to the audience's advantage.
I will.
Because remember, he also like totally busted on her the first chance he had.
Yeah, because there was that. She called him a tattletale.
Yeah. Well, because they're happy-go-lucky Christians. Because all hardcore Christians never curse, talk like TV characters. I guess I use the term agnostic, but I have no problem with people who find faith a wonderful thing to guide their lives and to be a better person. I have no problem with that. I hate stereotypes on both sides. Like we did, here's a side note, but this actually ties into this. Jowski insisted on putting God is Dead or God Isn't Dead as one of the trailers for Trailer Park this week.
Oh.
Because I'm pretty sure he knew we'd all wonder how we should handle this.
Yeah.
And I basically boiled it down to, I have no problem with both sides of the spectrum. My issue is that the way this trailer portrays this agnostic and this holy believer is that they're both coming across as assholes who want to one-up each other, so I don't care about either of them. So for me, I don't like when you get that holly-go-lucky religious people or like this. Like, my mom's very religious, and my mom's one of the most profane people you'll ever meet.
Yeah.
And she'll call a motherfucker out in a minute. And I know that not all religious people are like that. And they're painting them a little more on the nose. Like, remember the part where he says, what kind of pastor abandons his flock?
Yeah, and like texting like verses from Proverbs to
Yeah, I'm like, no offense, even to a religious chick, that would feel a little too on the nose to me.
And in the movie, Jacob Fuller is this character who's completely lost his faith. Like,
right, completely. He's like, there's no doubt. Because I'll be honest, it worked for the movie, but let's be honest, Keitel didn't have to try that hard to play that character.
Oh no, like he was a broken
he
man.
actually felt like he was intentionally dialing it back for that movie.
almost like he was kind of subverting the over-the-topness of everything else.
Oh yeah. He was a broken man in that movie. Like, he is dark. He's
I knew from the first time I saw him, I was like, oh, he dies. I mean, there was no doubt, but I also knew that was probably the reason for his existence.
Well, it provided a wonderful arc for the Jacob Fuller character.
Yes, it did.
Like, honestly, the best character arc in the entire movie.
Actually, he has the better arc than Seth.
He does. He totally does. And in this, like, they're adding mystery to his character. Like, something happened between him and his now deceased wife, and it's not really said. It's kind of this mystery, but they do say that he walked away from his congregation. He's not a preacher anymore, but it's weirdly inconsistent in this because the first time we see Jacob Fuller in this, he is singing hymnals to himself as he's driving, which
I will also say, for someone who is like totally defeated, maybe that's his one little gasp of trying to pull himself back.
And I kind of, like, as it went along...
Because they made sure that he was singing it badly.
Like, I got that was probably the intent of it, but when I was watching
yeah, but it was ham-fisted.
Yeah, when I was watching it, it felt ham-fisted. It felt weirdly out of character. And
although, let's be honest, we have to accept that this is not the same Jacob, and I hate to say it, like I said, once again, the mystery part, I can't help but feel we're going to find out our antagonists might have been a factor in this.
Ugh. Oh.
I know. I'm not looking forward to that either, and I'm really hoping I'm wrong.
I hope I'm wrong in so much stuff that I've predicted about this. I really, really am.
Because I see the potential for something really kind of cool. I mean, I was really dreading having to watch 10 episodes of this, but I'm actually looking forward to the next episode, warts and all.
Oh, God damn it, that's the thing. Like, even though, like, there's so much stuff about this second episode where I'm like, oh, God, stop doing that, or, holy shit, I hope this doesn't happen. Even with that being said, God damn it, it is like watching a fucking show like Highlander the fucking Raven, because... God damn it, I still sort of want to see where this is going.
To me, it's more like V the Final Battle.
Yes!
Where I accept the fact that this is definitely not that first miniseries I watched, but this is so balls to the wall different that despite the fact that I'm looking at guinea pigs and lizards running through miniature sets with Faye Grant standing there whining in her bodysuit that so perfectly shows off her body. Yeah, that was a formative moment for me. Or, like, there'll never be a moment like Jane Balder stuffing the guinea pig down her mouth. But you might get a moment where Richard Herd gets his face ripped off on national TV.
Oh, yeah.
Or you'll get a fucking green baby coming out after the first baby comes out and spits out a lizard tongue.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of looking at it like, it's not what I thought it was going to be. But it's going in a direction where I still want to see where the fuck it's gonna go.
Where I'm curious, because even if it goes really, really sour, it could be like jaw-droppingly train wrecky.
Yeah, and if it goes to that point, then we're gonna have a whole. Let's just say, if it goes to that point, you guys are gonna want to listen to all the rest of these.
Yeah, you're gonna want to fucking listen to this, and like I'm at that point now in my life where I don't like sticking with something if it starts going bad. Like, I used to totally be the type to where if I'm watching a TV series, I'm in it for the long haul.
Well, let me guess, you watched all seasons of 24, didn't you?
Yes.
Yes, and just like me, you had moments where you went, I think you can probably remember your exact first moment.
Cougar.
Yeah, you knew it was coming. You knew it was coming.
The Cougar, and then the third season with fucking...
And then you have another season where Sean Astin's a total dick.
And you have that fucking...
And then when he finally dies, it's fucking tragic.
Yeah,
and you're like, fuck, I gotta stick with this, you fucking assholes.
What in the fuck? That show really started losing me when they killed off Xander Berkeley.
Oh, yeah, of course. Well, first of all, it was Xander Berkeley.
God damn it, George.
Because that motherfucker can play any... He's the only reason I can tolerate, what is it, Poison Ivy 2?
Yeah.
Or the other movie that's exactly like Poison Ivy 2.
The Poison Ivy 3.
Well, I know that the same director did Embrace of the Vampire, and I swear both movies feel like the same movie, even though one has a vampire in it.
They honestly do. You find still shots of them on the same kind of websites.
Well, of course, because that was the only time that Alyssa's mom wasn't involved in her career and said, cover them titties up.
Boo.
Although we went, you know what? We appreciate the time you weren't around.
Exactly.
Now, I will say, that last I did appreciate, like, the shot when he pulled the car over and he saw the chick and she almost instantly vanished, even though it led to that goofy part.
You mean when they started fighting?
Yes, because I'll
Oh.
be honest, the fight felt so out of place to me. It
It-
just didn't seem like it had escalated to that point yet.
Yeah, I can see that. Like,
I mean, I dug it once I got with it and they started having a little bit of fun with it. But I will say, it felt like for the characters, it did not feel like we had reached that point yet.
I can see that. I can see that. Because, yeah, even though they've been in some shit together, and Seth Gecko has obviously kind of had enough, but there's still... It definitely doesn't feel like Seth Gecko is at a breaking point.
Right.
You're right in that it's like they are trying to paint him pretty sympathetic. Even though they are doing that, he's still well written enough to where he's still fucking evil.
Yeah. Yeah,
Like-
I'm still feeling like, even though she maybe have an influence on him, that shit was already there. Without his brother's guidance, being in prison, they're implying that's when he spiraled, because I guess the minute Seth went to jail is when Richie couldn't get gigs no more, and he was starting to be perceived differently, and then he ended
Yeah.
up living in the woods and all that shit.
There's a lot of shows that I've quit watching since I'm now in that era of like, yeah, I'm not sticking with this for some
Yeah, don't you reach that point where you kind of go, life is precious?
Yeah, like I've
It's like, if I'm not even enjoying this in a bad way, why would I stick with it?
yeah, like I've quit watching Walking Dead.
I stopped after the first season just because I felt this is complete for me.
Uh-huh.
I don't need anything else. All you can do now is either ape the comic book, which I do enjoy.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
But by the same token, I don't see how you can really do that on TV. And secondly, there are cases where I love the British version better
Uh-huh.
because British series always have a finite end,
Yeah.
and American series don't.
Yeah.
Which means you have artificial extensions. Like, as much as I love Justice League Unlimited and Justice League and all the animated DC universe,
Yeah.
each time they did Justice League, they kind of thought it was their last season, so they had like a big wrap it up.
Yeah.
And then the next season, they were like, okay, you got another season. What are you gonna do? And you were like, we wrapped everything up. Fuck.
Dude, yeah, it's like when they added that extra season of Oz.
Oh yeah, exactly. And then you end up with what was the last shot? People in hazmat suits walking through Oz, because you know that seems likely.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Oh my god, what happened in the Emerald City?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unlike Homicide, which ended exactly the way it should.
Oh yeah, it's all in Tommy Westfall's head.
Yeah, well, sure. But also, it ended with, I believe, Giardello
Mm-hmm.
in, we don't know if it's Purgatory or Heaven,
Yeah.
with all the characters who had been killed on
Yeah.
the show.
Yeah.
Having a cup of coffee in the squad room.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, okay, that works for me.
Mm-hmm.
You extended it a little bit more than you should have, because the actual last episode of the last season kind of tied everything up for you. But I can accept this. We now have 10 hours of something that worked perfectly at 2 hours, so we have to accept, you know what? When all's said and done, we might have to do the Brad and X fan edit of From Dusk Till Dawn, the series.
Yeah, this is one where I kind of want to stick. I kind of want to stick through it a little bit, you know.
Night deadline makes a difference. That's the only reason I brought up that British shit. I'm like, the fact that it's only going to be 10 episodes, we know there's going to be an end.
Oh yeah.
We're not going to have to keep dragging this shit out.
Oh yeah.
It's not going to be like, the only reason I'm scared to watch Hannibal is because it's so popular, they're going to keep the show on the air. How much longer can you keep dancing around the obvious elements of the story?
Oh, dude, totally watch Hannibal. It is totally fucking.
Well, I've heard it's awesome, but I'm also getting the impression that I'm probably going to have to tell myself exactly when to stop watching it.
It's so far, I'm still with that fucking shit.
And I'll be honest, Mads Mikkelsen,
Uh-huh.
I have no idea how to pronounce it. To me, he was a bigger find than fucking Daniel Craig in fucking Casino Royale.
Dude, Mickelson, like, in a lot of ways, Mads Mikkelsen gives my favorite performance of Hannibal Lecter.
Even better than Brian Cox?
I thought Brian Cox was great, but I could never say Brian Cox was my favorite. He's only in like 5 minutes of that movie.
Oh, of course.
Like, I mean, don't get me wrong; those are great scenes that he's in, but it's a
And don't get me wrong, I love Silence of the Lambs.
yeah, me too.
It's just, as someone who knew Manhunter so well, weren't you like me? Had you seen Manhunter first?
No, I saw Silence first.
Oh, see, that's the difference.
Uh-huh.
If you saw Manhunter first, it was so hard to accept Anthony Hopkins at first. But he warmed me over, and by the end of the movie, I thought he was awesome.
Oh yeah, yeah. He's
But
great.
I will say this. I mean, just the way, because to me, the underplaying of Brian Cox in Manhunter. Oh, and by the way, I'm going to be on the projection booth episode of this, and are you a Manhunter fan?
Oh, Manhunter's my favorite of the movies.
There needs to be a choir of people who explain why that Lecter is so important despite such a limited amount of screen time.
Yeah, and I
The way he kind of hovers over that movie.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, do you know how you caught me, Will?
Oh yeah, he
I
was
said
great.
it just the way he did, but when he says it, it's fucking terrifying.
Yeah, he was great. Like, it's like I said, I never could have said he was my favorite necessarily.
Right.
If he had done more movies as that character, and maybe even had like at least like a half hour or so of screen time,
Right.
I could easily say that I liked this guy better than Anthony Hopkins. But as it is, it's basically a cameo. I mean, but
Yeah,
you're right.
it really is.
I mean, and I don't mean to cheapen that at all.
And to be honest, that's how Wilmer's feeling in this to me.
Yeah.
I don't know where we're going with this, because if you add it up right now, how much screen time have we really had with him? 4 minutes?
And here's the thing, like, if his name wasn't on the opening credits, I wouldn't have known that was him.
I wouldn't have either. I actually was like, where was Wilmer Branda? Holy shit, that was Carlos.
Yeah.
I literally, at the end of the first episode, felt that way. I was like, where was Fez? And then I realized, holy shit, that was him.
Yeah, I was the same way, and there was only like a split second in the second episode when I could tell that it was him. When he said one line and he had kind of a minor lisp to it.
Right. And you were like, okay, gotcha.
I'm like, okay, there I can see that. But even with that being said, if I didn't know that was him, I wouldn't have known that was
Right.
Wilmer Valderrama.
Oh, and remember we were talking about CGI? That one moment after he pulled away from the boyfriend?
Yeah.
But they had just a little CGI trickery to make his neck kind of click like a snake.
Oh, yeah.
To me, that worked.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, once again, that's how CG should work.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, fuck. Somebody's at my door again. You gotta cut again. Sorry.
Yeah, no problem.
I gotta get used to a new neighborhood. It's actually my neighbors
Oh.
that they're knocking at, but
Oh, my
I'm not used to the sound levels, so it
Yeah.
sounds like my house. I am back. I would say it's worth the risk to try to stick with this one. I'm feeling it's going to be a rocky road,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm thinking the good parts are going to justify sticking around.
Yeah, I know for a fact it's going to be a rocky road, but at the end of the day, what I'm predicting out of it will be like, hey, this was an interesting throwback to 1990 syndicated television.
Yeah.
Like, so with that being said, yeah, so after the second episode, it's a lot rockier than the first episode, but I'm not. It's giving us enough to talk about.
Right, and I'm not worried yet.
Yeah, I'm not scared. I mean,
I have concerns, but I am not worried.
Well, I guess I'm kind of scared, but I'm not scared in like.
And I'm glad I actually contributed to your fear.
Oh yeah, yeah. Like I'm not scared in an this is gonna be unwatchable sort of way.
Yeah, I feel even if it's a train wreck, it's probably going to be a glorious train wreck if it does end up that way.
And here's to that. For all that's worth.
So, folks, those of y'all that are watching these, if you're watching the shows, please chime in. We want to hear other theories and stuff too. I mean,
Yeah.
we're talking about it.
chime in. Let us know. I mean, hell, after we recorded the first episode, there were people who didn't even know that they made us.
That the show had existed.
Yeah. So chime in, tell us what you think, give us your theories on it.
Yeah, mention what vampire reference we didn't make.
Yeah, tell us about the vampire movies we didn't talk about.